This is the first in a series about how to use spiritual essential oils. I thought I would begin with the king of spiritual essential oils, frankincense, that has been used since the dawn of time for spiritual awareness, connection with divinity. And the chances are you have maybe bought a bottle and thought, well, that makes me feel really nice and calm. You've maybe made a massage oil. This is to teach you how to make a massage oil into a holy oil. So first of all, let's introduce you a little bit to frankincense essential oil. In that, its main properties are that it slows the breath and it stills the mind, which is the perfect cocktail for praying. So I will introduce you to my little gold goblets. In here I have some carrier oil. I've used 3 ml of carrier. Let's put a little bit more in so we can take it up to 5 ml. It's the dribbles that are left behind. So with 5 ml, that works out. Actually, it's good to see just like the drops. There's like 100 of those in the carrier oil. And if we were going to use it medicinally on the physical body, we would use a maximum dilution of 3%, which would be 3 drops of essential oil in that 5 drops of carrier. But when we're using it spiritually, we only want to use 1 drop. So that's the first thing. I've got to show you. I've got a little pal who's helping me, look. This is my little ladybird who likes to help me. He lives in the shed and he always likes to help me. So one drop of essential oil, and we can use this topically, or we can use this as an inhalation. So what do we mean by an inhalation, first of all? Well, what's really great is we can put this onto our hands, or we can just sniff directly out. I like to put it straight onto my hands. And when you're doing anointing work, the figure of 8 is important. So we will do that. And it's really nice because it gets the energies going in your hands. Your hands start to feel much warmer. And then just sit like that for praying. I mean, that's perfect. You can just really inhale, or you could go like that, which does make you feel a bit more trippy if you're not so much praying but want to meditate. This can be really lovely, or putting it into an essential oil pendant. We can also use it to anoint. Now at the end I'm going to show you how I charge an anointing oil, but let's show you how to anoint first. So we've already talked about how we can put it onto the palms, which we can do. I like to anoint the forehead. So we use a figure of 8 on the forehead. It's an infinity sign. It's called the limniscate. And we are activating the 3rd eye. And actually just like, I love to just like, oh, so relaxing. So relaxing. So if we do that, we are anointing the 3rd eye. I also like to, with frankincense, put some more on my hands and do the back of my neck. Now that's because this is where the blood supply is, straight into the spinal cord, and the spinal cord goes straight to the brain. And so this delivers the frankincense into what's called the limbic system. And the limbic system is the oldest part of our brain, and it controls all of our emotions, our memory, and all of these things are just giving an access to let the frankincense go in and slow the mind into alpha wave, down into beta wave, down into theta wave. And theta wave is when we are most receptive to spiritual awakening. And incidentally, this is a 2-part series, so if you click on the link, you'll be able to do a meditation with frankincense essential oil. So we put it into the forehead, so relaxing, into the back of the neck, and also wrists. And the reason for that, this blue blood is not my royalty. This is good blood supply, right? So we can put that there and allow that to go into the blood supply, so it's starting to career around our body. So that's how we can apply it. Remember, we're going 1% for spiritual and we're putting it onto the body. We could also use this little preparation in the bath. Just be careful when you get in and out, because now it's got a carrier oil, and incidentally my carrier oil is olive. You can use any oil, but because I am trained in Mediterranean practices, we always use olive. So pop that into the bath. That would be diluted and that would be so restful. And what's so great about this is it will really make you feel calm, but it will also make your energy bodies calmer and more receptive to opening and becoming more aware and more expansive. And that sort of spiritual development comes from relaxing the physical body and allowing the etheric bodies to expand. We can also use a little oil evaporator. Where's mine gone? Oh, it's so dirty. Please excuse it. So I like to use these. See, there's a little candle underneath. I couldn't actually light it because it's just all burnt away. But these are great because you can put oil in the top, so you could put this oil in there and it will evaporate. This is different to using a diffuser. You could of course use an essential oil diffuser, but it's it's a precious oil really, and I don't think that it's really that suited to diffusers, even though it will make the room really calm. There are other oils you could use that would be better. But also, the properties of frankincense essential oil are not the same as properties of frankincense resin. That is true on a physical level in terms of medicine. That's a different video. But it's also true in terms of a spiritual point of view. And the reason for that is there's a molecule that's very big in frankincense called Esssential, which is what is responsible for the feeling of warmth and closeness, and that your body feels like you are being wrapped. And that doesn't pass through to the through distillation, because that molecule is so big. It's too heavy to be lifted. So if you use this little blend that you've made and you pop it into the top, but then you also put a lovely piece of little grain of frankincense incense of resin in there, you'll benefit from that and you will get a deeper spiritual experience. So we only use a small amount, but it just really makes a difference to the environment, and it's beautiful for setting sacred space like this. And so those would be the main ways that I would use it. And I would say if I was choosing this oil, I would use it because I wanted spiritual awareness. For me, maybe I've been dreaming about something, or I've had some kind of download and I don't really understand it, and I want to zone in and kind of go, I really want to understand what I'm doing. I would use frankincense there. I also say it's the oil of grace, and grace isn't a word that people use in parlance that much these days. I love the word grace. I use it a lot, and I will often say to people, thank you for the grace, after I've cocked up. And it's really very good for like, just give them a bit of space, you know, just be a bit more lenient, be a bit more understanding, a bit more forgiving, which for somebody like me is a very useful thing, because I can rage quite often. So I would say that, yeah, any kind of closeness to divinity, to nature, to be more aware of what's happening in the liminal spaces in nature. And we'll go more into that into the meditation, to understand and feel our way into the hidden spaces, but particularly to be a better person, you know, more humble, more accepting, more open, kinder person. All of those things would fall under frankincense. So we make this little oil in my beautiful little chalice, but it's still a massage oil. So in the next bit, I'm going to show you how I charge it to become more magical. Just before we go into the next segment, I really want to ask you, if you're enjoying this, please subscribe. I can't tell you what a difference that will make to my channel. Also, of course, share if you like, but subscribe, that would be fantastic, and watch some more videos. Each time we go through, I'm going to point out ones that will take you deeper to the aspect that we're talking about. So it's great to have you on this channel. I hope that you stay. So when we're making a sacred oil, I like to wear a veil. Most traditions wear a veil as a respect to cover your head, but also in the Melissa tradition, the bees are known as the veiled ones. Hymenoptera means the veiled ones. So what I like to do is, first of all, to roll the cup in my hands to get some heat into it, but also as an energy exchange. So first of all, I like to imagine the sun coming down through my head, through my crown chakra, my brow chakra, down to my heart chakra, out through my hands. And so what it's doing is channeling the light, but as it's doing it, the oil is learning my frequency. So imagining the light coming down through my crown chakra, down to my heart, out through my hands, sending it into the oil. And then by exchange, allowing it to send its rays back to me, along my arms into my heart, so the two of us get used to each other. And obviously this has an even bigger effect if you've got something like a bass note like myrrh or vetiver that is really quite cold. We're putting warmth into it. And then I like to sing to it. So I use a very old Hebrew prayer, and I've copied or learnt an arrangement by Barry and Batia Sigal, which is on YouTube, but it's beautiful. And it's called Kadosh. Kadosh in Hebrew means holy. So the words mean holy, 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 Lord of the hosts. And what we're going to do is we're going to send the light. I am not the light. I am the manager of the light. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Elohim Tsevarot, Adonai Elohim Tsevarot, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Elohim Tsevarot, Adonai Elohim Tsevarot, Kadosh, Kadosh. and then just running your finger around the top. Just say exactly what you want it to do. I want this to be the most healing energy that it possibly can be. The highest resonance of frankincense, to bring awareness, to bring healing, and to bring grace. And there we have it. Frankincense as a sacred oil.